Hello, welcome to a tutorial video on the very basics of Adobe Illustrator. I'm doing this video to help my parents in their print shop business. Help them do a lot of the art themselves in-house. When somebody supplies them with a piece of art, they can change colors, tweak things real quickly, and start printing. This video is also for anybody else who may want to just mess around with the program. It works great and it's pretty cheap, especially if you're a college student. I think it's like 25 or 30 bucks. It is a monthly fee now, but you get the entire Adobe catalog, which is Adobe Premiere, which I use for video editing, Photoshop that you can use for a lot of other things, Lightroom, which is great for color enhancing photos and stuff. But let's get into this and we'll dive into the basic buttons. Alright, first things first, here are the tools. Let's show you how to set up these tools on the side because it will help you access them quicker. And another thing that will also help you access things quicker are shortcut keys. Push the combination of these buttons to help jump around the menu a lot quicker. I will use Control C for copying, Control V as in Victor for pasting an object, Control X for cutting an object out. Basically it's like copying, except you delete it on the screen. I use Control plus and Control minus. I also use Control Z to undo and Control 2 to lock, Control 3 to hide. So this is my art. This is a vector file. As you can see, there are little dots that make up this art, and these dots are anchor points. You can see this one's an x-axis of 2.4 and a y-axis of 4.6. Basically, you can enlarge this to any size because it's mapped out on a grid, so you just make the grid larger and you can get the art larger. It's great when doing printing because you can make stickers 4 inches and then take the same exact art and turn it into a billboard if you want. Anyways, we have two arrows here, a white and a black. These are very important. You select the right ones. Black tool will only select the vector art, but you cannot select individual nodes like I showed you, those anchor points. The white arrow does allow you to select those anchor points and manipulate them as you see fit. You can move them around individually. You can also grab these handles, and that makes up your curves and radiuses. More on that later. We will be using the text type tool, and if it has an arrow on it, it can be expanded. So click and hold, it'll bring up this screen. It is all the menus for typing with fonts. Click the arrow to expand it on the right side, and I like to move these around, and I have that one. Then I have the shapes with all my tools of circles and squares. I use those a lot. I also do that one's hiding. That's for rotating and reflecting, and one more, pen tool. The pen tool is very important for manipulating art and adding different anchor points and stuff like that. These need to snap into place. Okay, and I normally set up my display looking like that. If we jump online, I'm an FPV guy, so we're gonna do my team logo. Oh, no end in there. There we go. Notice this logo is 2000 by 48. That's really high quality. That's great. See how this is 232? You'll get pixels there. So if you're trying to get a logo, whoops, you want a high number there. Copy image. Right click, copy image. Go back to Adobe Illustrator and we'll paste. So the logo is very, very big. So when you're looking at the image, you can grab a corner and shrink it down. See how I can make it rectangular or distorted? If you hold shift, it'll keep it perfectly proportional to what it was before you clicked it. So let's just make it a little smaller like that. So once we have our logo, Control 2 will lock it. Control 3 will hide it. Let's zoom in. And now we're gonna lock this layer. And then let's start tracing it. If you have some nice easy straight lines, like let's say this T right here, you can just click, 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 click. There's our T. Whatever. Now if you wanted to make a radius, you can start a path and then click and hold to bend. Now you can only do about a quarter of a circle at a time, so you can't do a half a circle. If I tried to go way down here, I have to zoom out. But the radius just does actually, it gets pretty close on this one, but it never gets perfect. So split your circle up into half or 2 or 3, or depending on what you're doing. And the second time you click it, it will continue that radius. If you click it a third time, you'll have to start again. But there you go. When you close a circle or any object, you will see a little circle underneath the cursor. That indicates that it's closed and you can now manipulate the fill and the stroke. If that's our little black box or whatever, fill is the box on the left and stroke is the box on the right. Let's turn this to white, our color's over here, and this to black. We have an outline, and that's what stroke is. If you want to increase the stroke, go over here to weight and increase the points. However, if you now manipulate this art and increase it, your stroke doesn't stay proportional to your art, so you need to expand it. Stroke and fill. Now it is grouped. Right click to ungroup. But now you can see the white has its part and the black has its. And the black has its own. If you need to add a node, click the plus button and you can simply add one. And then if you need to move it around, whatever, you can manipulate. If you need to change the radius, you can grab these handles and move your radius around a little bit. If you need to minus a node, click the minus pen button and it will get rid of that, but it will keep your line there. If you select that node but only hit the delete button on the keyboard, notice it doesn't have that connected anymore. And that can help or hinder you, so just be aware of that. If you need to finish the connection and something's broke, just click one of the end nodes and then click the other end node. You'll see the circle and there it is again. If you're typing a font and you need it to have a curve on it, make a circle or a radius or whatever you need. Click this tool, type on path tool. You can see it's a T, it's crooked, and it has a little squiggly line under it. Click on your path, which is a circle. Now you can make this wavy or whatever you want. Click somewhere, it might bring up some text or something. I have no idea what this is. H-E-L-O. There we have it. Now we are on a path. If you click the black tool, one of these nodes is your area that you can go into. The other node is the back, so basically the left and right side of your font. Now if you want this to be on the inside of the circle, you click this little arrow and move to the inside. Now your hello is here and you can move it as you want. If you need to increase spacing or anything, whether it's here on a radius or out here in a straight line, you can click the character and then you can go into all sorts of features like spreading out the letters, stuff like that. Space it out more. If you need to mirror it, that's what this tool does. Just double click and it will rotate it 90. Now it's backwards. If you need to rotate, you can click it and you can rotate it that way, or you can double click and tell it what degrees you want it to rotate. Whether you want it to rotate 90, 180, whatever. I will go more into fill and stroke next week, as well as manipulating art, grabbing things, moving them around, but more importantly, grabbing any JPEG image from the internet and having Adobe Illustrator trace it for you. And that's really important because now you can grab a bunch of little things from all over the place and create really cool stuff from it. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that other good stuff, and we'll see you real soon.